Okay, a little bit later in the episode, I'm going to tell you more about the hormone fixer because I know you're dying to know. This little bad boy supplement that I created, if I do say so myself, is amazing at so many things, so many benefits. So it raises your natural testosterone, ladies, that GSD hormone. It helps with weight loss. It helps improve insulin sensitivity. It helps with anti-aging. It increases your own growth hormone, the anti-aging hormone that helps with the wrinkles and the stamina, energy, focus, brain. It also helps with your mood and lowers your response to stress. So you're just going to have to wait a little bit more. We'll tell you more about it. The hormone fixer. So this is going to be a game changer for you. And you can probably hear the excitement in my voice. The latest introduction, the latest member of the family to the Fixer line is Metabolism Fixer. And this, oh my God, I formulated this just for all my people out there that need to lose weight, that need help in the weight loss department, that can't lose weight no matter what they do, that feel like they have a slow metabolism, and that might be thinking of trying all those peptides out there, you know, the Beverly Hills soccer mom drug of choice for weight loss peptides. Or even if you're on them already and you're like, man, these are really expensive and I'm still not losing weight, add in Metabolism Fixer. Here's what I did. I took the power of T2, which increases your basal metabolic rate while you are sitting there watching Netflix. You're burning fat while you're watching Netflix. I combined it with a very unique patented ingredient called Suppressa. Suppressa has multiple clinical trials backing its efficacy in reducing your appetite, decreasing snacking, and providing way more control over your food intake. It is amazing. We also see improved emotional well-being, just decreased food cravings all around, reduced hunger, and weight management. Add on top of that, we have green tea extract, we have purple forest purple tea extract, both of which affect the metabolism in a very positive way without the jitters of normal fat burning supplements out there from the 1980s and 90s, right? The ones that made you feel like you're having a heart attack. You will not have that in any of my supplements, Thyroid Fixer or Metabolism Fixer. But Metabolism Fixer, ooh, yeah, we kicked it up a notch. It is in powder form, so you can drink it through your day. It's going to flavor your water. We got Orange Crush and Refreshing Citrus. I love them both. It is going to keep you under control all day long. So you throw a couple scoops in your water bottle in the morning, throw a scoop or two in your water bottle throughout the day. You will have fat burning and appetite control the entire day for what? An eighth of a price of the peptides? Oh my God, you can't go wrong. So grab some Metabolism Fixer today. Please let me know how you do on it. I'm super excited for you. Super excited. Your skin and your hormones. Today, I have a very, very special guest. I just love her to death, Dr. Trevor Cates. I was blessed to be a part of her hormone docuseries that it's going to knock your socks off. I'm telling you ahead of time, it's going to blow you away. If you are a woman, you need to watch this. And we will have all of the information on the docuseries in the show notes for the podcast. We're going to give you guys all of the information later. But let me first tell you a little bit about Dr. Trevor. So Dr. Trevor Cates is author of the USA Today and Amazon best-selling book, Clean Skin from Within, and founder of thespadoctor.com, which I told you guys I'm using. Products are amazing. She received her medical degree from the National University of Natural Medicine and was the first woman licensed as a naturopathic doctor in the state of California. She currently lives in Park City, Utah, where she helps patients from around the world with a focus on skin and hormones. She has been featured on various TV shows, including The Doctors and Extra TV. Dr. Cates has interviewed over 250 experts on the Spa Doctor podcast and hosted her own PBS special, Younger Skin from Within. Her next book, Natural Beauty Reset, the Spa Doctor's 7-day program to harmonize hormones and restore radiance, is coming September 2022. And the Docuseries, Hormones, Health, and Harmony, is going to be coming out very, very soon. So, Dr. Trevor, thank you so much for coming on. I am a skincare junkie, so I'm so happy to have you.
Great. I know. It's fantastic. I'm so happy that you're using the products and loving them.
Love them. Love them. And so I'm a little bit of a skincare addict. I think I'm an anti-aging addict. I realized one time when I walked in, when my mom was still alive, and I started having this thought, like, I keep buying everything that says anti-aging. And I walked into her bathroom and I saw 20 different products. And I'm like, that's where I got it from. So I think it can be inherited. But the problem with being a skincare junkie is you don't know what's working and what's not working. You don't know if the inside is affecting the outside. So I would like to first start with your story. How did you get into caring about skin and women's skin and hormones and how it affects the skin? How did you even get to come down this path?
Yes. Well, it's been a long path, but it started when I was a kid. I had a lot of health issues, including skin issues. It was these little mysterious bumps that would appear. It was eczema. It was hives. I reacted to every kind of skincare product. I even had trouble just getting in the bathtub. Like I'd get out and it was just like itchy. I had all these skin issues. And my parents took me to see a lot of different doctors, and I had adverse reactions, allergic reactions to everything that they put me on, everything they suggested. And it was such a miserable experience. I remember the physical discomfort of having skin issues, as well as the embarrassment of, I didn't want people to get too close to me. The kids at school, I didn't want them to get too close. Plus I missed so much school. I was sick all the time with my allergies and recurring infections that I just didn't feel like a normal kid. Mm-hmm. But thankfully my parents kept searching. They found a holistic practitioner that they took me to. Eventually they found it. And it was the one thing that turned my health around, my skin around. And I was 11 years old. And I remember thinking, why did I have to go through all of this for someone to mention holistic medicine? Like, why didn't the other doctors mention this? Because it was so helpful. And so it planted a seed. It's what put me on the path, become a naturopathic physician. Because when I learned about that training, I thought, this is for me. And it wasn't until about 10 years into practicing and seeing patients that I started really focusing on skin. And that's because I was working at the Waldorf Astoria Spa in Park City, and I was doing these programs on weight loss. And at the end of the 2 weeks, my patients that were doing the program would say, Dr. Cates, I've lost weight. I feel great. But what surprises me is my skin. I didn't know my skin could look this good. My skin issues are clearing up. I look, like more youthful, and I have this glow and this radiance. And I was like, well, of course, that makes sense because, your skin is an outer reflection of your overall health. And they were like, oh, yeah. And I realized that not many people were making that connection. But to me, I knew it since I was 11 years old, right? Yeah. But I realized I had to write this book, Clean Skin from Within, my first book. And then they started asking me also, like, okay, I know you want me to use natural skincare products, but I don't like the way they smell. I don't like the way they work. And so, these are people at the Waldorf Astoria, right? They're used to a certain caliber of skincare products. And so I started digging into the research about skincare products so I could find one that I would recommend. And I started to learn about the skin microbiome and the pH of the skin and so many toxins in skincare products that even so-called natural ones were using. And so because I couldn't find anything I could recommend to my patients, I decided to create my own line, the Spa Doctor skincare line, that has the ideal pH that the research shows is important for skin to prevent breakouts and to prevent premature aging, and also to support the skin microbiome, just to keep our skin healthy. And that doesn't have any of these toxic ingredients and has natural actives, including also some amazing organic essential oils. So it still smells good and you don't smell like too natural.
Right. Like sulfur. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that amazed me about your products. I don't want to jump to those too soon before we talk about all the different things that can cause skin issues. But the one thing that, since you're on it, amazed me about your products, I flipped them over. And you're so right. there's a limited amount of ingredients. And when you flip over even the natural, organic, quote unquote, products that are out there on the market, it still is a laundry list of ingredients at times, and still some things that I question. I go, wait, didn't I see that on the don't use list somewhere? And yours are beautiful and simple. And you can look at it, you go, all of this is just natural. All of this is it's real. It's organic. It's essential oils. So it just makes sense to put it on your skin because I can pronounce everything.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
a key.
I mean, I think that so often, especially as women, we just get used to using skincare products and not think about that the fact that it can get absorbed into our bodies. And
Mhm.
however, we'll use hormone creams and, patches and things like that on our skin, knowing that this is a route of medication administration, right? And so why wouldn't we think about our skincare products that way? Like what you're putting on your skin can actually get absorbed into your bloodstream. So why would we put synthetic fragrances and other ingredients that actually have hormone disrupting effects in them?
Very true. Very true. And that's a great way to think about it because we deliver hormones transdermally. So anything that's in that skincare product that you're using, it's going inside. Now, you had mentioned earlier about when you were working with weight loss clients and seeing their skin change. So obviously, and I know that you say that our skin is our magic mirror. So can you expand on that? I'm assuming it's very much tied to what we put in our bodies.
Yeah, I mean, our skin is our largest organ and it's right on the surface of our body. So we don't need special imaging equipment to see it. We could just look in the mirror at it. And so when we get things like breakouts or we're experiencing premature aging, there are signs that something's out of balance. And so it's a great opportunity for us to pay attention to what's going on. And part of it's our lifestyle. We can get clues about the foods that we're eating, whether or not they're good for us, how much sleep we're getting, if we're getting the right amount of sleep, too much stress. All of these things can show up on our skin. And one of those things that we can learn about is hormonal imbalances. And that's one of the biggest questions I get asked, especially with women, is about around their hormones. There's so many misunderstandings, so much confusion around hormones and how they impact our health. And that includes our skin. I mean, when we get low thyroid, for example, when our thyroid levels are low, one of the first signs is dry skin. So our skin is just giving us messages all the time. And it's not the only thing, right? There are a number of other symptoms that happen when we have low thyroid, but it is one of the first clues that shows up. Nutritional deficiencies also, but I think a lot of women struggle with hormonal acne, for example, and they're oftentimes as teenagers even put on birth control pills to manage their acne, but that's actually not creating hormonal balance. That's creating more hormonal imbalances. So it's so important to clear up these misunderstandings.
Oh, it's so important. And when we're talking about, we talk hormones all the time on here, thyroid, sex hormones, everything. And I think it's important to chip away at them. Obviously, in your docuseries, you've interviewed a multitude of experts in the hormone arena in thyroid, such as myself. And we all have our different take. I want to get your take on the sex hormone. So you said thyroid, dry skin for sure. And since the thyroid's the master gland, it can start affecting the sex hormones too. So can you break down the different sex hormones and how a woman specifically might see that come across on her skin?
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, okay, so where do we start? Let's start with estrogen. And so, at different times, and so here's the thing. I was thinking about this, like we want to realize that hormones are great. They're awesome. They're
Yeah.
amazing. They help us in so many ways. It's just when they start to get out of balance, that's when they become a problem. So the goal is balance. So just because they're, I'm going to talk about what happens when they're high or low, like there's this like Goldilocks spot, right?
Mhm.
And everybody is a little bit different. So don't lose hope. We're
Right.
to rebalance them. So when at certain times, women's estrogen levels can get high. For example, when a woman is pregnant, she might get high estrogen. That can actually cause like melasma.
Mhm.
And so with she's taking birth control pills. That would be another time. On the other side, an estrogen goes low, such as right after pregnancy and also during perimenopause, menopause,
Mhm.
is when I start to know like some dullness in the skin, some dryness, and then as it goes on, a little bit more of that eight signs of aging. With testosterone, with androgens, it's one of the biggest things that triggers those acne breakouts when those levels go high, and
Mhm.
that can happen around puberty. It can also happen around perimenopause at weird times. It can be an awkward stage, and then also if women are on androgens, like if they're using DH, they're taking DHEA or testosterone and
Mhm.
they're getting too much, then they can start to get acne. Then, there's also progesterone also helps with keeping our skin, keeping that youthful glow as well. And so when that starts to decline, we can start to notice changes with that. And then, of course, well, you mentioned sex hormones, so I'll stop there.
No, that's fine. Yeah. And let's go back to estrogen because I think estrogen gets villainized too much as well. I don't think that women really realize that estrogen is a building block for hyaluronic acid, for collagen and elastin in their skin. And that's why, or one of the reasons why, as we age, we get the wrinkles, and dry skin will show more wrinkles, and aging skin equals a lack of estrogen. So, have you seen women's skin improve when they do use, let's say, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy?
Yeah, I think it can make a difference. And you know what is one little trick that I think that a lot of women don't know about is you can actually get estriol topically in face creams. You can get it, like I'll get it from my compounding pharmacy, get them to make it, and you can add just, or if you're using it as a cream, just like take a little bit and put it on afterwards. But you got to be careful with it. You don't want to overdose it. So definitely work with your practitioner on this.
Mhm.
That's why I work with my compounding pharmacist on this, is that you want to make sure you're getting the right amount, because again, just because you're applying it here, don't it's like you're, and wherever else you're applying it, it all adds up, it all gets into your bloodstream. But I do think it makes a difference. And when we get our levels, and it's that Goldilocks, we don't want too much and we don't want too little, and we got to find that right amount. And when testosterone drops too, that also impacts the skin too. And one of the things that I think people forget about is I think people know that, like, one of the things that when your testosterone drops, your muscle mass tends to drop. But think about all the muscles that you have in your face that give it that
Yeah,
support and that structure.
that's
And when
right.
it starts to decline, you're just not going to have as much of that muscle tone in your face.
That's true. I never even thought about that in terms of testosterone and muscle. I'm
Yeah.
always talking about testosterone because I see so many ladies with low T. So many, more low than high. But I never even thought about that in relationship to the face or even like premature aging. If your testosterone drops down, yeah, you don't have the muscles anymore.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. So many things with hormones, so many things. So how common in your line of work, because you see this all the time, I don't hear so much about the skin issues. Women come to me, they're like, I can't lose weight and my mood sucks and I have no energy, but they're not really hyper focused on their skin because they have all these other issues over here that they're focused on. So how often do you see skin impacted by hormones in your clientele and your patients?
I think the biggest one I see is hormonal acne. I mean,
Okay.
that's the biggest one. And that is one that so many women throughout their lives, men and women, but especially women throughout their lives at different phases, can get breakouts. And they might, so many of them have said to me, maybe they didn't even have acne as a teenager. We're like, isn't that supposed to be something for teenagers? Why am I getting acne at this point in my life? In their 30s and their 40s and even in their 50s. I even had
Mhm.
like a patient in her 70s, like breaking out in acne. I was like,
Yep.
so it's really interesting too that there's a lot we can do to help balance hormones. But if you think about it, there are certain places in the world where there is no acne, like Papua New Guinea, for example. They don't people don't get acne. And so we have to remember that it is our hormones, but this the underlying cause under that has a lot to do with our lifestyle, what we eat, the health of our gut, our stress management. All of
Mhm.
these things play a role in how our hormones are balanced.
Oh, definitely. I'm so happy you mentioned gut too. And I think people are we're quick, especially as women, because when we do have acne, then we do pay attention. So you're right, Dr. Trevor. When a woman has acne, that is on her list of one of the top things that bothering her, because it's really hard to be a 20, 34-year-old woman, 50, 60, 70-year-old woman and see acne on her face. So going back to the gut, what we put in our bodies on a daily basis, just like when you were again working with the weight loss, when you start to clean up what's going in your mouth and what's hitting your digestive tract and what's actually being absorbed in the gut, you're literally taking away toxins and antigens and pesticides and xenoestrogens, all of those things that can affect our skin as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, when we think about the gut health and we think about the gut microbiome, which I'm sure you talk about a lot, there's also skin microbiome, and I mentioned it briefly, but I do want to talk about the important connection
Yes.
because there's so much talk about the gut microbiome, but not as much about other microbiota areas around the body. We have a
Mhm.
lot of different areas and that get impacted. So when our gut microbiome is out of balance, when there's dysbiosis, like an overgrowth of harmful bacteria or parasites or various things going on, or yeast overgrowth, that can impact our skin microbiome. So our skin has a different group of microorganisms that live on it, but also important for maintaining the health of our skin. So for something like acne, it is, there's definitely an imbalance of bacteria that occur that trigger acne and that keep it coming back. Some people are more predisposed to it, so they're
Mhm.
more susceptible. And for those people, you want to do both. You want to do address your gut health, you want to get your gut microbiome in a good place, and then what you put on your skin is also important. So that's why, like, having the pH of products in the ideal that mild acidic range is
Mhm.
really important, and that nurture the skin microbiome rather than damage it.
And it's interesting you said that too, because I remember way back in my really obsessive skincare days, I would always read that the skin wants to be acidic. So we always think alkaline, people are drinking alkaline water and doing things to make the inside of their body alkaline, but our skin actually wants to be acidic, right?
Yes, yes, it does. And a lot of skincare products have a pH over 5, which is, or even 5.5. Higher than 5.5 is really not good for your skin. Even water has a pH of 7, which is too high for the skin.
Mhm.
4.6 to 5 is this ideal pH range for the skin for it to truly flourish. And, people oftentimes ask me with my 4-step skincare system, how can you have one skincare system for all different skin types? And it has a lot to do with that, with being in the right pH. So a lot of times people start with a cleanser with a really high pH.
Mhm.
So anytime it has like that foamy or even a bar of soap, it foams up, that means it has a high pH.
Mhm.
You can test your skincare products using pH strips. Just you could test cleansers, anything that's not 100% oil, you could test the pH and you'll see most of them are going to be over 5.5. And so you're starting off with cleansing and you're stripping the skin, you're throwing off the pH. So then
Mhm.
people will use toners to try and restore the pH. And then
Right.
put on moisturizers, which then throw it back off because those are usually have a higher pH. So that's one of the reasons why people love the results they get from the Spa Doctor skincare system is because we keep those in that mildly acidic range.
That's amazing. I was going to ask you if we could test it, because I think I did that before with pH strips. Amazon, pH strips on Amazon. And then you can test each one of your products to see what the pH of that product is, as well as your water, of course. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because people can actually do that with what they have at home. And if you are using something organic and natural and I guess marketed as that, test it. Just test it to see if it matches up and so we want it under 5.5, right?
Yeah, so 4.6 to 5 for the face in
Mhm.
particular is key.
Okay.
For body products, if it's around 5, it's okay, but really I prefer for the face 4.6 to 5. Yeah.
Okay. So how would you start someone that had any skin issue. So whether it's acne, if it's premature aging, I do have a couple of patients like that have sent me pictures of their skin, and you can see based on their age, it's not quite adding up to, let's say, what a 40-year-old should be. They shouldn't be as crepey or as deep wrinkled. So when dealing with a woman coming to you with a skin issue, do you start with what she's putting on and then go internal and then go to food and then go to hormones? What's your order of preference to treat this?
When patients come to see me, I do both. I talk to them about what they're doing internally and what they're doing externally. I definitely didn't always practice this way. I didn't until I started doing this research on skincare products. I didn't know. I've been in practice for 22 years, and for 10 years, I was just talking about inside out. But I think also when I hit 40, I was like, you know what? Maybe some of this topical stuff makes a difference. So yeah, I'm 49 now, and I feel like, and it was so funny. I was at my bridal shower yesterday with my girlfriends, and they've known me. I've lived in Park City for 13, 14 years, something like that. And they said, Trevor, you're aging backwards. You look younger than you did when you moved to Park City.
Yeah, you do look really young. You just kind of blew me away with the 49, I have to say. Yeah.
So I get it, but it's then that I started like looking at what are we putting on our skin and what difference does it make? And it can make a huge difference. And so that's why I always start now with both inside and outside. So I'll give people tips on things to do. Like we usually do labs, we gotta test to find out hormonal imbalances, nutritional deficiencies, gut issues, what's going on specifically with that. So then I'll give them some recommendations to start with that. And then I also give them recommendations for what to use topically. Now, I know not everybody can come see me, and I don't really see a lot of patients these days anyway. So because I'm focusing on more of there's so much we can do with our lifestyle that people can do. And that's why I did the Docuseries, because all of these 50 experts I've talked to, including you, give amazing tips on food, what foods to eat, when to eat them, how to eat them, where to get them. I mean, we even have an organic farmer that talks about, the importance of organic food and why, and like explains this information. And we talk about sleep and the importance of that, and stress management. And, so much we can do on our own that builds a healthy foundation. And then going to see a naturopathic physician or functional medicine doctor or practitioner that can help with testing and really honing in specific treatments on supplements, maybe bioidentical hormones if they're indicated, So that's kind of like my overall approach. And it's so exciting. I think we're at this really exciting time where we have more options now than we ever had. And which is really, really great, because the flip side of that is we're exposed to more toxins now than we ever have been.
True.
More hormone disrupting chemicals than we ever have been. So this is why hormones are so important to me, because I think people need to understand how their body works, how to avoid these toxins, and how to eliminate them from their bodies, and then how to create this foundation of health. And again, we have access to so many healthy foods and natural skincare products and great things, stress management apps and all kinds of stuff.
We really do. And I have a theory. I always say both and. So when I'm treating a patient, it's not even just about thyroid. It's the thyroid and your hormones and your lifestyle and the food that you put in and whether you poop every day or not. And are you sleeping or not? So it's the both and theory for your skin as well. You can be fixing the hormones on the inside, but if you're using garbage products, you're not going to see a difference in your skin, and you still might age quickly. You could buy the most expensive products on the market, and if your hormones are a mess on the inside and you're eating McDonald's, not going to make a difference. Yeah. So it has to all be together. And I'm so happy you brought all of this information together as well.
Yeah. And I know it can sometimes feel overwhelming, like where to start. But anything that you can start doing, like when it comes to skincare products, just start looking at some of the ingredient lists and start with the products that you use every day. Because if you use an occasional product here and there, your body actually does a really good job for the most part of eliminating things out. But with the products that you're using every day, your body never gets a break from that exposure. So
Mhm.
start with your cleanser, your moisturizer, sunscreens, things like that you're using on a regular, your makeup.
Yep.
Start with those, look at those. And if you don't know an ingredient, there are great resources out there. So my book, Clean Skin from Within, I've got lots of information about ingredients. Environmental Working Group, ewg.org, is a great, they make it really easy because you can put in the name of a product in their Skin Deep database, the name of a product or an ingredient, and it'll give you ratings. And by the way, the Spot Doctor products are EWG verified, so they meet all their criteria. But you can get other recommendations for products in there and know that you're getting clean products. So I would definitely start there. Just, it's just pick a time, grab a garbage bag, go in
Yeah.
the bathroom, just start throwing some stuff out.
Seriously. I mean, not only will you be doing your skin a service, but you'll be doing the inside a service too, just because of all the endocrine disruptors. And yeah, we talk about that all the time. But I did a funny video last week, but yet it was true. And true story. So I have a little atrium in my house that is outside. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to get a real tree this year for Christmas and I'm going to put it outside. That way it's not taking up space in the house. I don't have to clean up pine needles at the end of December, right? So I put this tree in the atrium outside. And we're at April now and it's still up, mainly because a cardinal decided to build a nest in it. So now there's a couple eggs. I have to leave it up. But what I noticed is there are no pine needles on the ground. It is being fed from the rain and the snow and just the natural environment. I mean, it's in its little tree stand. It collects some water, but I haven't watered it since November when I first put it up. And it is still full and alive and not dry and no pine needles. I have a plant over there that I have had in this office for a week and it is dead and brown and nasty. And I actually have watered it. So that kind of got me thinking, literally within days of using your skincare line, my skin was glowy. I was like, oh my gosh, it's glowing. I love this. And I thought about the two trees. And there's a perfect example of when your skin is dry, whether it's from hormones, lack of nutrients, like you said, what you're putting inside, what you're putting on the outside. If you're stripping your skin's barrier with an alkaline based product or water, you're drying it out. And it's going to be like the tree in my office. It's going to go in the garbage in the next 3 days. Or you could be like the Christmas tree that is 4 months strong and still kicking. I mean, I think that that's the perfect little example of what happens to our skin.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We do need nourishment for it. And I know that, there are people that are even like the minimalists of like, well, I'm just not going to use anything so I'm not exposed to toxins. But you're missing an opportunity because, like I said, even water has the wrong pH for your skin. So skincare products can give you the opportunity to give your skin that right environment to grow the right microorganisms to nourish your skin, like your poor Christmas tree.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that, and we will have all of the links for anyone that's interested in purchasing your line and trying it out for themselves. We'll have that in the show notes and we'll put it into all the descriptions where you see this video as well. I also I cannot let you leave without talking about this docuseries. Now, just so people know, when you see summits and docuseries, and docuseries take much more work. This is a labor of love. This is not easy for anyone to do or to put together. Dr. Trevor literally brought, like she said, 50 experts from across the United States all together to bring our collective minds together to give you an abundance of information. So some would call you crazy for taking on this endeavor. What inspired you to do this? Because this is a gift. This is a literal gift to all women everywhere that you are going to be releasing in the next month.
Yeah, no, it's the thing that women ask me about the most is hormones. And it's true. There's a reason for that. Like every single woman struggles with their hormones at some point in her life. And for many, it's an ongoing process. And we have, thyroid hormones, we have sex hormones, we have adrenal hormones, we have the hormones that help us sleep, the ones that help us with weight and appetite and blood sugar. They control so much of our lives, and they interplay with each other. They play with each other.
Mhm.
And so I was like, well, I need to get all these people together. I need to present something that really helps answer a lot of questions, because women are not getting it from their conventional doctors, unfortunately.
No.
First of all, it's very unfortunate that conventional doctors are stuck in the insurance model where they have 7 to 10 minutes to spend with their patients,
Yep.
which is really unfortunate because they don't get to educate, they don't get to spend time. But also the tools that they have in their tool belt are limited as well. And you'll hear from in the Docuseries a lot of gynecologists that, or other conventional doctors that have swapped to doing more functional medicine because of their frustrations with the tools they had in their tool belt, like
Mhm.
things like birth control pills to manage acne and period problems. That's just ridiculous, because birth control pills are for birth control.
Right.
Let's leave them over there.
Right.
They've been very empowering for women to help us plan when we want to have a family, but they are not a good tool to use for managing our hormones. That's just not what they're for. And they actually create more problems, create more hormonal imbalances, drops in testosterone, changes in estrogen, and problems with our gut microbiome,
Yeah.
create nutritional deficiencies, all the things we've been talking about that create hormonal problems. Birth control pills do this.
Mhm.
So, and then the other tools are antidepressants, sleep medications.
Yeah.
They do not address the underlying cause. So, because I was, and I can only do so much with a one-on-one with a patient. So I wanted to get this out in a big way. And I know I have so many talented, intelligent friends and colleagues like yourself, so I wanted to interview them all. And it wasn't enough to do it on Zoom,
Right.
all in person. So we did 4 different setups at studios, and did 4 different takes and interviewed 50 different experts. And it's truly phenomenal what has come from all of this. And I can't wait to share this with all the women out there.
It's gonna be amazing. Like I said, this is the biggest gift I think that's ever been given to women, to expand their knowledge base and get answers from a variety of different experts all in one place. So hormones, health, and harmony. By the time people are listening to this as a podcast on the Thyroid Fixer podcast, it will be out. So we're planning on an April 26th release, correct?
Yes. So, well, the docuseries is going live May 10th.
Okay.
So April 26th, you can start giving people the link to it. So it'll be ready for people
Register.
to sign up for it. And May 10th, and it'll go live May 10th. It'll be online and free. Every episode, we have 9 episodes. Each one is free for 24 hours. You can watch it and just, make sure you mark your calendars, because you don't want to miss one.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, you want to just suck in all of the information. So that's right. April 26th, they can start signing up. We'll give everyone all of that information. So you can definitely get on that schedule so you can watch the docuseries. It's just going to be amazing. So thank you so much for doing that and for bringing all of us together to give our information to the masses. It's going to be, I can't say enough about it. I'm so excited. I'm super excited.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So, Dr. Trevor, any last thoughts for the audience on anything, hormones, skin, health, anything at all?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I want everyone to understand is that symptoms like acne, period pain, PMS, even hot flashes and night sweats, these are not things that we have to just suffer through. That, there are other cultures around the world that don't experience these things. And it has to do, because a lot of it goes back to our lifestyle. And so there are things you can do. You do not have to put up with these symptoms and just power through it.
I love it when a guest says something that I always say, and it's not like we even planned it. I didn't pay Dr. Trevor to say that, but I always say, when you have a sign, symptom like that, whatever it is, it's a signal from your body that something is going on. Because like you said, not all cultures experience hot flashes. Not everyone gets acne. This isn't normal. This isn't how our bodies were built. So when you get that little, hello, something's going on, pay attention to it, because that's your body giving you that little knock on the door so that you can go figure out what it is. And it might take going outside of conventional medicine to figure it out, but there is an answer. So I'm so happy you said that. Thank you. Thanks for backing me on that. I say it all the time.
100%.
All right, Dr. Trevor. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And like I said to all the listeners, this is airing on YouTube and Facebook a little bit earlier, but this will be released as a podcast on the Thyroid Fixer podcast on April 26th. And that's when we're going to give you all of the information. And Dr. Trevor, we'll have you back on for like a little mini live once everything is up and running and we're ready to go. But thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you for all that you do.
So now that you've heard all about the hormone fixer, I'm going to give you a challenge. If you actually listened to this podcast all the way to the end and you're still listening, you can use the code ThyroidFix10, 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 and get 10% off my store. This is only for people that listened all the way to the end. I want to know what you think about my products. Make sure you let me know. Love y'all.